Start the show? All right, well. All right. I got it. Here we go. Must be modest, of course. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I talk too fast. I discovered that. Anyway, here I am. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. And they call me on the phone. They ask me questions. They say, "Hey, man, what's your show about?" I say, "Well, it's about an hour. It's about guitar players, guitar playing, and all things guitaristic." So, sorry, I'm having a little trouble keeping in tune here. These TV lights, you know. So here's the thing. If you want to call me up and ask me a question about the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, you know, if you want to talk about how to play the guitar, you want to talk about some related instrument like the guitarrón, the sitar, the cítara, the lute, the oud, the vihuela, the chitole, banjos, balalicas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos. You want to talk about ukuleles or banjoleles? Violins, violas, viols. Viol de bracas, viol de gambas. If you want to talk about trombones or tromborinas. Clarinets, clavinets, clavinovas. Yeah. Want to talk about cornets, cornetos, drumhorns, quartholts, piccolos, pipe organs, accordions, ocarinas. Anything musical is fine. You want to talk about politics, world events, or your own personality problems, that's fine too, but keep it clean. This is a family show. All right, so, anyway, here I am. Right off the top, I want to mention, though, that next next Monday, which I guess is the 23rd of April, if that's the right date, there's going to be a public hearing at the Iowa City City Council Chamber for the Cable Commission. It's a public hearing to voice concerns about the TV station. See, we're up in our contract renewal phase. And anyway, so if you believe in public access, I think you should show up. You don't have to. You could get up and speak if you want, or you can just sit there and occupy a chair for about an hour. Starting at 5:30, the City Council Chamber is right downtown in Iowa City. You know where the police station is and everything. And anyway, we're going to have a public hearing, and I'm going to be there. And I'll probably say something. But I think it's important. I think this TV station is important, and whether or not you like every show, doesn't matter. I mean, we'll have a show like this, the next thing you know, it'll be a church show. Then you'll have a bunch of crazy guys acting crazy, and then there'll be a cooking show or something. So it's
or it can be your own show.
That's right. You can have your own show if you want to. Look, I have a show. Even I have a show. Anybody can have a show. So I think it's important. We talk about freedom of speech and everything, and my favorite old saw that I've been saying for years is, yeah, you can have freedom of speech, but if you don't have a microphone, then maybe nobody will hear you. So this is our neighborhood network. This is for us, for the people. I would say that people say, well, you don't need public access anymore because we have YouTube, and everybody has a movie camera on their phone. And not me, I have a very archaic phone. It only takes still pictures. But it's not. The thing is, we're doing more than ever before. There are more and more people making programs here than ever before. There are more people editing and shooting stuff in high definition, and the studio is always humming with activities. So it's actually, I think it's even more important than it was before. So anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That's my story. I'll stick with it. And I say we should all be, if you want to, if you believe in access, you should all come down and do it. Skubinski, sir.
Well, the other thing you mentioned, the distinction between cable television and the internet with YouTube and all the streaming video. How much of what you see on YouTube is a talking head or really badly shot video? About 80% of it is worthless.
Yeah.
And here you actually learn how to produce video that you could, if you want, show on YouTube,
right,
if you control it. But this is where you learn how to edit and mix and actually make video that somebody actually wants to look at, as opposed to being a talking head with poor lighting and et cetera.
Exactly.
Big difference. So.
Right. Well, we have lights here. That's why my guitar keeps going out of tune. We have the green screen, which is why I have this Tom's Guitar Show behind me. We've got, look, all the cables we have on the floor. See, you don't get that with your little flip cam, but and also. The shows that you watch here are often available on YouTube. I know Tom's Guitar Show usually is nowadays.
A lot of my stuff shows both places.
Yeah, Bob's got stuff on YouTube also. And but you want to watch my program, you can watch it on PATV.tv on the blog, and then I tend to have it embedded on my tomsguitarshow.com website. So not every show makes it up there, obviously, but actually probably. From now on, I'm going to try to make sure that every show gets up there. So I've probably talked too much already. I'm losing my strap here. I decided to dress in my native garb here. I'm
you look like a real Iowan.
Yes, I'm dressed in. I've gone native. I am an Iowan, and I am. Anyway, yeah. So the other thing I'd mention is that next week, and I know I keep babbling when I should just play guitar and shut up, but. Next week, we're going to do the Tom's Guitar Show special upstairs at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. And it's free, open to the public.
Corner of South Dubuque and Lafayette.
That's right, South Dubuque and Lafayette, right by the tracks.
6 p.m. Tuesday.
6 p.m. Tuesday, that's right. I'll be there. Bob will be there. Phil and the gang, we'll be all there. And anyway, we'll have music and readings and so forth. And you can have coffee if you want. They have great carrot cake. Under like a glass thing.
Ice cream,
yeah. They have the old counter from Pearson's Drugstore, the old soda fountain. That's the bar in the coffee house. So they also have exotic soft drinks. So. Well, enough of that. I want to mention these things later in the show. I'm using this Godin ACS guitar. It's actually probably from the late 90s. It's an older guitar. I mean, but actually, I was watching my show, and I keep going on and on about my Gypsy Kings guitar, which is kind of folded up this way, and so the strings are too high off the fingerboard. So when I play up the neck, it doesn't play in tune anymore. And so I mean, I can play it down here, but I always like to play up here. In fact, this kid was saying, "You don't ever play on those higher frets anyway, do you? Or those ones up there?" And I say, "Sure, man. I play till I run out of notes." That's mandolin territory. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. I like to play the high notes too. I like to play all the notes on the guitar. Hey, I paid for them, These overalls aren't working out that well for me here. I paid for all these notes, and so I'm gonna play on all the frets, So what I'm babbling on about is that I'm trying to find a nylon string guitar among my little collection of guitars that I have that I can actually use, for like weddings and things. When I'm because sometimes I got a wedding, I'll shave and I'll put on a suit and try to act like a gentleman, and I'll play, classical guitar music for people's, The bride walks down the aisle to like a Pavane by Louis Milan. So what do I play? I can't play my Gypsy Kings. My Giannini electric nylon string guitar from Brazil is still in the shop. It sounds fine as long as you hold on to the volume knob, but as soon as you let go, it starts to hum and has electrical problems. So I have this one, and I almost never played this one. This hung on the wall for years because it's a synthesizer guitar, but the synthesizer input's broken, you see. But it still has a 1/4-inch jack. I could plug it in, in here, and because see the one here, see if I can get that. Yeah, there's one right here, which is 13-pin synthesizer jack, and it's it broke. It just wears out really fast, and this guitar is I don't know, from the 90s somewhere. But the 1/4-inch still works, so I plug that into my little brown amp, and now without the reverb I have on this amp and all the things to flesh it out. This is my old ultrasound amp here. Without the, it's actually made in Iowa. But without the reverb on it, it doesn't sound that good, this guitar. So I make it all creamy and thick with reverb, and it fills it out. So the thing about this sound, though, that I get is some people really hate it, and some people just love it. And guy last night, mandolin student, said, "That has a beautiful voice." So anyway. I can see in the monitor I need to shave. Yeah. Not as bad as Doug does, of course, but...
Well, that makes it easier to adjust cameras.
The focus? Yeah, you see my grizzled stubble? Anyway.
When we can count your whiskers, we know they're in focus.
That's right. Sorry, this, I hadn't worn my overalls sitting with a guitar before. I guess there's some sort of situation. Either I should be standing up or, anyway, never mind. There's always stuff to adjust, you know what I'm saying? There's always adjustments to be made. You gotta twiddle the knobs on your amp, you gotta tune the guitar, gotta make sure you got the overalls adjusted just right if you're gonna play a gig, you know? And I had a tuxedo, you know, but the pants with the stripe down the side, the one cat, for some reason, he just wanted to sharpen his claws on those pants. So I still have them, but they're all ripped up. I mean, they're something about that sort of satin stripe, you know, you get down this, so. Oh, the jacket looks good with jeans. I've never actually tried it with the overalls, so maybe I should try the tux jacket with the overalls. I could look like a real Iowan then. We were joking around about this a little earlier, but see, the thing is that I've traveled some, you know. I've been to different places, you know, Europe and the coasts of the U.S., you know, the West Coast, the East Coast, you know, New England, New York, and then, of course, you know, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, Oregon. I played guitar in these places, you know, a little bit. Nothing spectacular. I know the guitar players like to brag about all the wonderful gigs they've had, and I've had a whole bunch of low-rent gigs. I must say, if you want to, well, if the prophet Job were here, we could sit swapping hard luck stories till bedtime.
I picked up an alternative pulp newspaper up at the Pike Place Market in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the guy that prints it had a bit of his life story in there. He started out as a guitar picker, and he played at Pike Place Market for a bit. They said first few times he played there, he made almost as much as it cost him to play there.
Yeah. Well, it's well known. I mean, there used to be a jazz club here in town, and you know, like it turned out that your bar tab would be higher than what you actually took in. Yeah. And that was the way it was always playing Gabe's in the old days. You know. But, well, my story is I actually, when I was 19, I went to San Francisco, and I took some guitar lessons, but mainly what I did was try to survive. So I can talk. I mean, I did study at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music with a guy who was, you know, somewhat famous, but I was just taking lessons there, and I was like an outpatient. But what I really did was I learned the hard way to live, and so anyway, those days to get the cable car ride was $0.25, or a bus ride was $0.25. It was somewhat subsidized, you know. So I went there, you know. I didn't have any money at all, and I think I walked all the way to Fisherman's Wharf from this hotel where I was living, and then I was trying to make enough money to, you know, to buy cigarettes and get, you know, a cable car back. I didn't actually make any money at all. I didn't make a dime, so I couldn't afford the 25 cents to ride the cable car. So I was all tired out, and I walked all the way back. But now, all the good spots in Fisherman's Wharf, you had to have a permit for, you know. So.
You're hiding behind the camera.
But anyway.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. All right.
That's it.
Anyway, they're all doing. There's Bob.
Yeah.
Back from vacation.
Yeah, Bob, you were our Washington correspondent.
Yes. I brought along a video if you'd like to show that.
Well, let's show the video. Let's show the video. Absolutely. We'll talk about your. Yeah. Is it all queued up in there? You got the... Well, they're looking for the roll-in. Yeah. So you were our Washington correspondent 2 weeks ago when you called in.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Before the desert correspondent for a couple months before that.
Yeah. This has become a seasonal thing here. The Seasons of Tom's Guitar Show. We have.
Sounds like we're going to have to call in the technical crew.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's not roll it in quite yet then. Anyway. So. Oh, we got a smart intern. That's good. It's an old Three Stooges gag, you know. But here we go. Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, there's the DVD player anyway.
Here we go. Wait, yeah. That's not working quite
There you
right.
go.
Yeah, now just press play and it should go.
Hit play.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay, there's the zip line down Fremont Street.
Wow. Whoa, wow.
Now, here's a woman who got about halfway down, and the thing quit rolling. So the guys had to come out and rescue her.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Life was full of sadness and trouble. But
Crew, will we be able to get sound when we get toward the end of this?
maybe they have sound in there.
Well, I don't know. We don't hear it out here. If the audience is hearing it, that's fine.
Maybe they can't hear us.
Yeah, can our TV audience hear it? Ah, okay. Okay.
Can they hear us?
Anyway, there were musical acts going there. There's a stage every block along Fremont Street, and this was the Country Music Awards weekend. Scotty McCreery was the only name I knew of the people that were performing there, and he was on while this was going on, up at the other end. Oh, there's Burning Man, the Las Vegas version of Burning Man. The Burning Man Festival out in the desert up north of Reno, their permit is for 50,000 people, and they've exceeded their permit for about the last 4 or 5 years. So they're trying to encourage people to have regional Burning Men other places. This is a floor show at the Rio. Oh, I think so. Everything that needs to be covered is covered. And then they have floats, like parade floats, only they hang from the ceiling. Come around, there are people on them that throw beads to the people down below. They used to do that every night, now they only do it on weekends.
I've got a feeling we're not in Iowa anymore. That's right. Never played Vegas.
Okay, now there's a sign in downtown Las Vegas suggesting that you not employ people on the sidewalks. Right, yeah. Now, this place here, it's the Heart Attack Grill. And the sign out front says, if you weigh over 350 pounds, you eat free. And these signs are warnings posted around the place. While we were there, did we get sound with that? The dummy said, don't be a dummy, watch PATV. And that's all I brought with me.
Well, you must have a lot of fun out there.
Oh, yeah.
You managed to stay out of trouble, though, pretty much. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know, if you don't go looking for trouble, you usually don't find it. There's at least one of those promos I didn't think was real suitable for a family show, but if people want to look on my channel on YouTube, they can find that one.
It's what's that URL again?
It's well, if they search for BWTV 147
BWTV 147
on YouTube, they'll find a lot of things. There's more stuff about the '08 caucuses there than anything else. I probably need to take down one of these times, but
I did go on your channel on YouTube, and I found a lot of stuff was pretty old. So.
Yeah.
Not as old as the stuff is on my channel, but yeah. That's good.
Well, the Iowa caucuses are kind of yesterday's news again, so I may take that stuff down.
Right. Well, we'll. I don't really remember the last time around. It was. Wasn't Santorum? Santorum won actually, but in the end, they counted all the votes, or something.
Yeah.
But
I didn't shoot any of it this year. Like I say, everything I got. Biden and John Edwards and Romney and Richardson.
Yeah.
Now, a bunch of them that came through town in '08. Probably could take those down, too.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Well, yeah, that's old history.
Richardson had one, and Giuliani. Richardson had one great applause line that I don't think I have up. He said, "We hired your basketball coach," because that's when Alford left Iowa City and went to New Mexico.
I see.
To which all the Iowa people cheered.
Yeah, I don't think, I didn't want anything to do with the caucus and the primaries because the Democrats, there wasn't much going on. There was a caucus for the Democrats, but it was Obama as a shoo into the nominee for the nominee, and then the Republicans were just frighteningly awful that I don't want anything to do with that, and they haven't gotten any better. So
Yeah, if I don't take it down yet, on my stuff from '08, Romney's there talking about what a great thing Romney Care is, which is almost identical to Obamacare.
Right. In fact, and the thing is that the Romney Care in Massachusetts, the premiums have gone down for every people, because the thing is, it would cost less money. I mean, our premiums would all go down if we had basically Romney Care nationally. And of course, the Obamacare, they call it, was stripped down quite a bit. It isn't what it could have been, but so it's interesting. The thing about this one is that there's a high level of disinformation going on, and it seems like it's like they call Romney the Etch-a-Sketch candidate, because now that the primaries are pretty much over, except that
once he has the nomination locked up, he erases everything and starts over again.
Yeah, erases everything he said, his extreme positions, because the kind of the moderate independent voters are horrified.
In the era of YouTube and Google, I wonder how well that'll work.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What you say lives forever, and people can hear you say it now.
That's right. Maybe we should put together a reel for that here on the show and say, yeah, that's what he said. Look what he said today, and then in a few months and say, that's what he said then. There's one. Oh yeah, there's one that Jon Stewart does. I mean, actually, they said people who watch the Daily Show with Jon Stewart are much better informed than people who watch Fox or CNN. And but there's a one where there's this war on women thing or whatever, and the one, so this woman says that Romney's wife never worked a day in her life, and what that means is she was always rich. So say, well, she had 5 kids, and it's really hard to be a mom and all that stuff, especially if you can't get a good nanny, But I mean, the fact is, of course, she's always been rich. She's always had a lot of money, and she married a guy with millions of dollars, and so it was. And there are women out there who have 5 kids, but they don't have husband at all.
Right. Working class people with 5 kids.
Or if they do have a husband, they have to work too, because he doesn't make enough money.
Yeah.
So it's so there's that, but of course everybody jumped on that because he had to do something to stir the pot up, and because this war on women, the Republicans look really bad, and so anyway, so then Romney, 3 months ago, made this speech about welfare reform, basically, and not giving people a handout, and if women, I mean, you have kids and everything, you have to work anyway, and even if it costs us money for childcare more than it's worth, you should get out there and work anyway to participate. So he says this thing, 3 months ago, and so it's always because you could just do this all the time, with everything they say. So anyway, it's interesting. Anyway, where was I? So anyway, I'm playing this guitar and wasting a lot of time. Next week, there'll be a lot more music and carefully selected readings. I'm going to rely on you to read some things, Bob. Wise sayings, I think, would be a good one for you. I found some, but you could probably find some too. So, pearls of wisdom.
Between two of us, we'll work up something by next week.
Yeah, and there'll be some other readers up there too. I think Skopinski's got something to tell us, and of course, I think Craig will be back, and so we'll do all that, and then young Tom will read something, I'm sure. But and there will be no guests. I was going to try to do a bunch of classical guitarists, but I'm leaning on them for something else. On the 28th of this month, at Meeting Room B, it's a Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, we're going to have the Iowa City Classical Guitar Society. We're going to meet. We haven't had a society for years now. We're going to try again. So we're going to have a classical guitar event at the Iowa City Public Library, Meeting Room B, 28th of April, Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock till 4. So we have the room from 2 to 4. And the people playing guitar and stuff, but classical guitarists. So I was going to do some classical guitar stuff on the next Tom's Guitar Show special, but I think I've got enough, put enough pressure on people for this other event. So I'm just I think I'm going to do my one-man band thing a little bit, and then we'll have readings and so forth. And
So if people want to see you live, a week from tonight, if you're watching on Tuesday.
That's right. That's right. A week from tonight.
What's that, the 23rd?
I think something like that, yeah. Sounds right.
Uptown Bills,
Uptown
corner
Bills.
south Dubuque and Lafayette.
The 24th, I think.
I think you're right. I have the 17th, so
Yeah.
it's Tuesday the 24th.
Tuesday the 24th, that's right. Tuesday the 24th, we'll do a Tom's Guitar Show live from Uptown Bills, which is right upstairs from where we are right now, at the corner of Lafayette and South Dubuque Streets, right down by the tracks. Can't miss it. Uptown Bills Coffee House. Be nice to have a live audience there. Had a pretty good crowd last time,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's so. So anyway, this guitar, I think I'm having trouble with my thumb sometimes. It hurts, and I played 2 gigs on Saturday, and my second gig I took that DBZ, that Zelenka guitar that I brought on the show a couple times, which I like a lot, but that was causing my thumb to hurt. And this guitar doesn't hurt me at all. And actually, if I play this guitar, the more I play this guitar, the better my thumb feels. So anyway, so I did my first gig. I played my big jazz box, which also makes my thumb feel good. And then I took the DBZ, grabbed it at the last minute to do my Tuscan Moon gig, which I'm still playing every Saturday, and we're hoping to go back on Fridays here pretty soon.
Where is the Tuscan Moon?
Oh, it's in beautiful downtown Kelowna, Iowa, next to the Kelowna Bakery.
And you're there Friday and Saturday night?
No, just Saturday nights.
Oh, just Saturday night?
Yeah, I've been downsized for the season, but we're hoping that the summer comes and I'll be out in the patio, and there'll be Friday and Saturday again. But anyway, I took the Zelenka guitar, the DBZ, and everybody thought it was real pretty. It sounded real good, but it made my thumb hurt, and I played the whole 3 hours anyway. So now I'm thinking, this one, just the more I play it, the better it feels. I got home. Also, my bass guitar, I almost brought my bass on the show, but I figured not to make it too complicated. My Fender Jazz fretless bass guitar also makes my thumb feel good. So when I got done with the gig, my thumb really hurt. And I always fear this is going to be a career ender for me. I won't be able to play guitar at all anymore. So I went home and I played bass for about an hour.
Yeah.
Just, running scales on that bass guitar without even plugging it in, because people are trying to sleep, in the house.
Right.
And it made it feel better. So last night I stayed up late and I played this thing, practiced on this thing with headphones on, so I wouldn't wake anybody up. And it was, the more I played, the better it felt. So. So earlier when Bob was talking about, you won't find trouble unless you're looking for it. There's a song, and I don't remember if I even know. It's like, I think it's a Steve Goodman song called about looking for trouble. The first time you take a drink, it makes you spit and sputter. The first time you take a drink, it makes you spit and sputter. Shiver and shudder, stumble and mutter. But the next one tastes so sweet, it makes you want another. And now, you're drinking all the time. Don't go looking for trouble, 'cause trouble will find you. Trouble will find you. Trouble will find you. Don't go looking for trouble, 'cause trouble will find you. You sure don't have to look too hard. The first time you shade the truth, you want to run and hide. Your throat gets dry, your tongue gets tired, then you start thinking maybe nobody knows you lied, and now you're shady all the time. The first time you fall in love, the skies are sunny. She calls you honey, your jokes are funny. Then she reminds you she's only in it for the money, and now you're drinking all the time. Did I say that on a family show? Well, I didn't write the song. I used to sing, but then Laura made me stop. So she never watches the show anymore, so it's anyway. So, see, my story is, last week on the show I brought this guitar and an electric mandolin. I was just trying out, and I said I didn't put any money on it, I didn't buy it. So, yesterday I went in the guitar shop with that mandolin and then another mandolin, and I traded that other mandolin and committed to paying more money. So I will have that mandolin. They're going to spruce it up a little bit, do some adjustments and stuff for me, but so I think I have more than one guitar and a number of mandolins and a few banjos and more than one bass guitar, more than two bass guitars actually. Anyway. Another thing I'm thinking about, since the show goes up on the interwebs too, been hearing a lot about copyright infringement lately, and I'm thinking about going back to the old days. I used to do this show without any copyrighted material. I was told that I couldn't put anything copyrighted up. That this decision came from on high that we could, because on cable TV the Mediacom pays a blanket ASCAP BMI fee every year, so I could do whatever I wanted. But now on the internet, it's another issue, and I know YouTube people do covers all the time, but it's becoming an issue. So I'm thinking about going to an all original music format again, like I did in the old days. The Tom's Guitar Show theme is mine. Anyway, I'll see you next week at Uptown Bill's in City Hall, Monday, 5:30. Be there, stand up for PATV.